one of you. All right, well, I appreciate you being here. Let's just go through a couple quick things here during the course of the show here today. As always, follow Shop HQ on social media. That is Shop HQ virtually on every single channel. So in terms of social media, we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, X. Follow them on YouTube, and also a big deal, you guys, sign up for Shop HQ's text alerts, email alerts, so you know what's going on with Shop HQ, and check out the other categories. The buyers behind the scene are creating new relationships, establishing old relationships with vendors out there to get new product out there too, and to really work on that pricing for you guys. So be able to do that. Now follow me. It is the Ryan Code on Instagram, also on X, on TikTok, and it's Invicta Ryan on Facebook. Now here's the deal. I have tonight's show, and then on tomorrow, I actually have a live stream at 6:30 p.m. So that will be on Thursday. That'll be on TikTok, on Shop HQ's TikTok, and then also on Friday, it'll be 7:30 both nights. So 7:30 tomorrow night Eastern, 7:30 Friday night Eastern also. So definitely check that out because those shows are fun in addition. They're typically longer than what I do here. All right, let's see who's all here. So Tim Shaw's here, Jeremy Rumpel. Hey, good to see you, bud. Long time. Ali is here. Bob, thank you for being here, you guys. Appreciate that. So it's about Invicta today. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I want you to write down this code right here because it's going to work on the watches I present here tonight. It is AUG watch, AUG watch. So what that's going to get you is that's going to get you 20% off the items that I'm presenting tonight. So it'll only work for these items here. Go ahead. It is AUG watch for 20% off. And I'll give you the markdown prices here that go along with it. All right, well, let's kick off the live stream here and start off with, I'll go to the first item here. I'm just gonna go in order. So it's gonna be this one right here. Just double check that that's going on. I just wanna make sure everything is lined up here on the live stream. Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go. So we're talking about right here, Invicta, we're talking about the Grand Diver. So the Grand Diver has always been just a top choice for so many collectors out there. And there are two different variations here of the Grand Diver. I actually have both of those samples. So we're talking about the 47mm Grand Diver automatic date bracelet watch. Here's one version right here. This is your black version. I actually have this. I think it's model 3044 if memory serves me correct. And here is the second version right here. So this is going to be the green version. The only difference between the two watches is the bezel. Thank you for that. Watchman54 is here. Jason is here. You're welcome, Jason. So yes, AUG 20. So here's the deal, you guys. MSRP on this watch is $795. Shop HQ's price is 81% off down to $149.99, but then you get these watches, either one, for $119.99. $119.99. Grand Diver, 300 meters, water resistant, mechanical, automatic, solid stainless steel, links, end links. You're gonna have the upgraded clasp enclosure that goes along for this. Now guys, I have a quick question. When I'm doing the live stream right now, does everything read correctly or does this actually read backwards? Because on my screen it reads backwards. I'm trying to get this all figured out between here and TikTok. So does this read correctly or does this read backwards for you guys? I guess I could look online too. Let me see here. Oh, it comes out okay. All right, I answered it for myself. Okay, AUG watch for 20% off. Yep, correctly. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. Okay, well, let's go on with this timepiece here. So here's the Grand Diver, and I have this model. I believe it is 3044, I believe. Yep, 3044 is the model number for this. So, I mean, this has been a watch that I've worn over the years just so frequently. And I'll tell you, it totally measures up here. And especially for the price of $119.99, to get 300 meters of water resistance, to have the boldness or robustness that goes along with it, the easy readability with both of these options right here. Both these options right here. So you're getting the black that goes along with then so they're a little bit of the green with the lume that goes along for both these watches. And these watches have great lume. If I have my flashlight here, I'll give them a quick little pop here and show you what they look like. But let's look at this real quick. Now this version has the scalloped edge. Scalped edge bezel, which is highly polished. Here's the logo that is accompanied with the timepiece. Invicta etched in off to one side. Then you have Grand Diver, both north and south end of the crown. Mechanical automatic. So the movement inside of this watch is that NH35A. So you have 24 different jewels for the movement on the inside. You get 21,600 vibrations every single hour. And along with that, you have then too, just 6 steps every single second, 41-hour power reserve, and it's a bidirectional rotor. So either direction that rotor will turn inside of the watch will actually wind up the watch. A lot of the Swiss-made movements, mechanical automatics, they only rotate one way, clockwise or counterclockwise or anti-clockwise is how some people describe that. But I like this green bezel that goes along with it. Mechanical automatic, you see that smooth glide. Look at the magnification window also. Looks amazing with this timepiece. So beautiful watch, totally functional. And if you guys remember, this was one of the watches that, well, it was with the blue bezel and I think a black dial or silver tone dial. I still have that particular watch that we bored a hole in the ice and put it down in the water, filmed it, and played it on Shop HQ. And then I put it in a little hole that was halfway dug because the ice was melting. It refroze, punched a hole through it, and the watch was still running. Nothing happened. I even had the crown out into position 1. It wasn't even screwed down. Totally fine here for that watch. Yeah, I know, Watchman, that green one is hot for that timepiece. 120 clicks all the way around the bezel here for this watch. You can hear that nice and smooth ratcheting for that bezel. We'll get it back to that 0 position here. Let me just see if I have that flashlight really quick, and I'll just give a quick pop here to, yep, I do. So I'll give a quick pop to the lume on this watch, and guys can see what that looks like. So let me see, where am I at here? All right, here we go. Quick little pop here of the lume. Let's see. Oh, Bob says he has both. Great watches. Watch Junkie. Hi, Ryan in chat. And yeah, Watchman, you love that green. Here it is. Here's that green with the lume. Look at that. Now, of course, I have a lot of light coming into my little studio here, but you can even see the lume pip right here. That's going to glow also. All right. Bring up the lights here real quick for you guys. All right. Remember the code AUGWATCH20. Save 20% off. So actually the price, it goes from that $149.99 down to $119.99. So basically, you guys, 120 bucks, your choice. That's a great price to be able to get a Grand Diver. So as I mentioned before, you get the solid stainless steel links. You get the upgraded clasp enclosure for this watch. You can see the stainless steel badges right there. And a lot of people don't know about this. With the Grand Divers, you actually get right here. Let me show this. This is called a solid end link. So the solid end links are a little bit more durable, a little bit more robust. 300 meters of water resistance, so really virtually any water activity you can do with this watch and it'll just perform magnificently. So I have many Grand Divers, as you probably know, and that you also own too. And I mean, everybody just loves these timepieces. They're definitely robust. The cone of sizing, really quick, is going to make a quick little presence. We have almost a 9-inch wrist. I would say an 8 3/4 inch, just to be on the safe side there. So yes, beautiful timepiece. All right, Michael Hugh is here too. Thank you, bud, for being here. Nice to see you guys. All right, let me look really quick. Okay, no more questions on this watch. So I'll put this to the side and move on to the next timepiece here. Yep, cone of sizing. You guys just love it. Oh, quick question. Have you guys seen the home shopping? Have you guys seen the home shopping blooper that has been just going completely viral? The lady, I think it's Tony Bratton with the hair, with the wig. You guys give some hearts if you've seen it, or just say, yes, I've seen it. I mean, it is all over. People are doing redos of it. It's actually super hilarious. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, just type in QVC hair blooper. It's really funny. All right, I'm moving on to the next item here. So we're going on here with, excuse me, we're going to go on with, let's see. Yes, we're going to go on with the 48mm S1 Rally. Yes. Oh my gosh, Bob says it blew right behind me. Of course it did, Bob. Yes, Ollie, yes, seen it. Super funny. Only if I do have bloopers from before. I think you guys probably remember Kendi in the chair. Actually, I have another one that's really funny, or a couple of Kendi and me. I should probably maybe post those at some point, just to have it out there. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's live TV, and that's what's great. Okay, here we go. So we're going on with the S1 here. So there are going to be two different color choices. What I have next here, yes, I have it up and running. So here what we have is a 48 millimeter S1 Rally Quartz Chronograph two-tone bracelet watch. Two different color choices. I have the green. The black version looks exactly like this, but it's just going to have a black dial on the inside. So basically about the same size as that Grand Diver I just showed you earlier, just a millimeter larger, but a little bit more of a complex bezel and also a complex dial in comparison to the Grand Diver I showed you. Plus, this is going to be quartz movement on the inside. Retail price $795 down to $129.99. That's 84% off. But guess what? Use that coupon code AUG, A-U-G, watch. Will save you 20% off this watch, which takes it from that $129.99 down to $103.99, like 104 bucks for this watch right here. Two-tone, where you have that 18 karat gold that's been plated through the center for the center link around the bezel, even with the crown and the function pushers that you'll be able to see off to the side of the timepiece. Now, looking inside the watch a little bit further, we have the quartz movement, which is going to be that battery operated movement. And it is the VD57. So you're going to actually have the fast runner that's accompanied right up here underneath this three-dimensional build for the dial of the watch. Oversized Arabic numerals on the inside. So you have your, right here is your tenth of a second, and then your minute for the chronograph. Now you'll see that top plate. I really like that top plate on the inside. You can just see how that just gives that three-dimensional look to this entire timepiece. You have your tachymeter, your units per hour, which goes around the timepiece also. I believe, yeah, unidirectional rotating bezel on this. So you get a secondary timing device that accompanies this watch. And so I'll put this on the wrist. I didn't show the Grand Diver before on the wrist. I'll show that here in a second. But look at this. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. That looks really sharp, especially that black dial version. Two different color choices here that go along for the timepiece. Real quick, here is that Grand Diver. I didn't put it on the wrist before, but Grand Divers always look amazing on the wrist. That's hot. I love that green bezel. I don't own the green bezel yet. I have the black one though. All right, back to the S1 here. So we'll do some quick measurements on it here. In addition, as I mentioned, it's a VD57 for the movement on the inside. Upgraded flame fusion crystal. So you're gonna find not as many watches have the flame fusion crystal as they used to before. So that's great that it's actually on here. And your water resistance is going to be 100 meters. So you can go swimming, snorkeling, a lot of different water activities with it. It's just it's a push-pull crown that goes along with this watch. All right, cone of sizing. What wrist size will this fit up to? All right, we're looking, wow, over a 9-inch wrist size. That's Tony White size right there. I have to catch up with that guy sometime soon. I haven't chatted with Tony White for a while. All right, well, let's do a couple quick measurements here at the calipers, just so you guys can see what we're looking at. What we have here for the diameter just of the crystal, we're looking at what, about 38 millimeters. Case diameter is going to be right at about that 48 millimeters also. Wait, I said 38 for the, yeah, okay, 38. Overall profile, what are we looking at? About 16 millimeters. Bracelet is going to start at almost 24 millimeters. Let's see if that tapers down a little bit. Yep, it will. Down to about 22 millimeters, which is pretty typical. And if we look at lug to lug, will be boom and boom right there. What does it say, 56 millimeters? Yeah. Yeah, Michael, I can see, I can't guarantee anything on that. I know Bob reached out to me too. I didn't get back to him on that. So I can't promise anything. I can promise I'll reach out, and that's all I can really do in that. You know, I think it would be nice. So yeah, I'll look at that. I'll reach out to AL here this week and see what he has to say. And I know you guys had a certain color that went along with it too to represent everything also. So we'll see about that and how that all plays out. I can't guarantee anything that outside of that I will reach out to him. Okay, I think that's more than fair. So, okay, here we go with the watch. Any questions on this timepiece before I move on here to the next item? Here we go. Two different color choices, you guys, down to $103.99 with that coupon code OGWATCH. You're going to save 20% off only the watches that I'm presenting in the live stream here tonight. Okay, let's move on to the next timepiece, which is going to be the Quadro. Bob, how many Quadros do you have approximately? I have a couple of them. I have some of those original ones with like the 13 individual links with a very complex bracelet design. Now this one is just scaled back a little bit here. And so what we're looking at here, this is the Quadro, 39 millimeter Quadro quartz square case bracelet watch. Now this is the only color choice. It's called the Robin's Egg Blue. So it's that really, really popular hot color choice is what you're getting here for the watch. And you'll see the dial detail just even on the center portion here of the dial. Now, MSRP is $495. Shop HQ took it down 84% to $79.99. And we use OGWATCH down to $63.99. $63.99. Still get that 3-year warranty that goes along with the timepiece here for the watch. All right, let's look at this watch just a little bit more closely. So what we have is at 39 millimeters, and we'll measure that out here in just a little bit. You'll see the Roman numerals at both 12 and 6 o'clock. Then we have the highlighted and glow-in-the-dark index markers for the remaining 10-hour markers on the inside. And then to follow the design for the case and also the bezel, which follows the case design, you have that same design on the inside here, but then the horizontal embossing that goes along to give a little bit extra detail to the dial on the inside of the watch. Yes, so what we have here then is the PC21. So you get your hour, minute, and second hand on this quartz movement from Time Module Inc. And the bracelet. It's that 5-link look design for the bracelet where you have the second and fourth links are going to be highly polished. And then you have the vertical satin finish that goes along. Notice too the accent screws that are on each corner. So a total 8 amongst the 4 corners that go along. And you're going to have a little element off to the side here that's going to, in a sense, visually balance out where the crown is with the crown protector, both north and south there of that crown. Now in terms of measurement here, the mineral crystal going west to east on this watch is going to be about 32 millimeters. North to south, it is going to be, I think it's about the same. Let's look at this. We're right at about the same here for that. Let me just double check. It's going to be just a little bit different. So it's going to be about 35, 36 millimeters. Now going all the way west to east, excluding the crown, including the crown protector, you're looking at about that almost 39 millimeters. And then if you include in the crown, we're looking at about 43 millimeters. Overall profile is 9.5 millimeters, and the bracelet right at the very top, we're looking at 21.6, and I believe that will taper down also. It's going to go down to about 20 millimeters. I think there's, did I just see a little bit of, I thought I saw a little bit of plastic on here from the, yes, there is. Hold on. I thought I got it all off. Here we go. Now the watch will look even better. Oh, there's another piece on this side. Here we go. Sometimes when I'm unwrapping watches, there's like 8 of them at once. Every now and then I do miss a little bit of that. Now what we get on this clasp too is you get the push button clasp. So you just open that up, press those 2 buttons, opens up, and you're gonna get a really clean look on the wrist with this timepiece. And I mean, for the price here, we're looking at that $63.99. Brilliant. For that gift, whether it's for you, maybe you don't have one of these colors yet, just within your own personal watch collection. Here's my wrist at 6 3/4. You can see how that looks. Cone of sizing. What is the cone of sizing going to say today for this timepiece? We're looking at 8 3/4, 8 3/4 inch of a wrist that go along with it. Now remember, this is the only color choice that goes along for this watch. And we're looking at 50 meters of water resistance. So I mean, it can get wet. I would say maybe save any sort of water activities for watch that's 100 meters and above. So just 2-1 is a skeleton. Oh, okay. Yeah, in terms, oh, really nice. I'm trying to remember a skeletonized Quadro, Bob, like that. Yeah, Bill says, great looking watch. Yeah, I know, Bob. And I'm sorry I didn't get back to you on your message yet. I've been a little bit kind of inundated with everything. Yes. So like I said, I'll reach out this week. And Tanya, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Watch Junkie. All right. All right, moving on to the third item. I've only presented this watch once before, and this is really cool. So what we're looking at here, it's going to be the Coalition Forces. Now, this is something new. Coalition Forces. Now, Coalition Forces is known for a big, bold, aggressive design. Look at right there, too. You get the high polished case back here for this watch. Now, there are 6 different color choices, but I'll get into those just a second. This is technically called the 52 millimeter Coalition Forces. Oh, let me change it up here. 1 second. Is it this one? Nope. Hold on. Where is it? 1 second, you guys. Is this? Let me just double check. No, that's not it. Let me just check out the featured product really quick. Oh, yes. Okay, so it's the green right here. Okay, so here we go. So here's the Coalition Forces. Hey, Phil, good to see you. Sandy, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Okay, here we go. So here we have the Coalition Forces. And 52 millimeter Coalition Forces chronograph. Now here's the big word, eye-size bracelet watch. 6 different color choices are available currently. This is going to be considered the black version. And so this is a really neat thing. So before Invicta was coming out with so many new different designs, new features on watches that just hadn't been seen in the watch industry. And I really like the ones they've come out with here with this eye size. So first of all, it's almost like that Quadro where you have that canteen style crown protector that's done on that levered system that just fits perfectly and can be then put on the crown. You can still activate the chronograph quite easily because the function pusher is actually a little bit, it's a longer and narrower and goes between the hinges here for the watch. And you have a piston style function pusher down here. Same up here, but just a little bit smaller. Now with this timepiece, here is where it gets cool. It is this eye size technology where typically when you have to size a watch, you have to size that watch with a whole toolkit just to get it to fit your wrist. Now the eye size technology, totally different. Now what you want to do is you want to find the arrows on the back, which you'll be able to see right here. And I'm going to try to keep this all in shot and in frame. All you do is let me see, I'll just lift up here. You just lift up right here, and then you can, look at that. So I just lifted this up. It's all spring loaded, and guess what? I can just take off right there. And then, if you look at this, I can take, let me see if I can show this. Maybe this is a better way to show it. I can pull this out, and then it goes back in. Now I can take out another link if I want, like right here. See that? And I just took out that link, and then I can just move that back. Really easy to be able to do. Check that out. I can put the link back in. I mean, this is really cool, you guys. You can just do it with your fingers. You don't need the hammer or the mallet or anything like that. Now you will for the micro adjustments. Isn't that sweet, you guys? Yes. This is great for the sizing challenge like me. Yes, Bob. All right, so now I'm just going to hook everything back together again. So I'm just going to take one side out, and look at this. I can then just insert the pin through, and then I just need to pull this little piece out right here. Just pull it out a little bit, and then boom, done. That's how you size the watch. It's really cool. It's pretty easy. Maybe the first time it might be just a little bit challenging, but you understand how it works. I mean, it is pretty sweet, this design here for this Coalition Forces. Now there's 6 different color choices. There's a gold tone green, a gold tone gold, a 2-tone rose, a 2-tone blue, a silver tone silver, and black. So I have obviously that black version. Yeah, I know. Is it right, Tanya? If all Invictas were like that, I hope Invicta carries us over to a lot more different designs here for this watch. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's easy to do. And what do you guys do? Actually, what do you guys do with your extra links? Years ago, I started getting like those little baggies. They're like Ziploc bags. They're about this tall. They're like a little bit rectangular, about like this wide, that tall. I mean, actually just a little bit bigger than like what this is. And Then I would just label on it because I would get them with that would have a little bit of white on it, like some Ziploc bags, and just write the model number on it and then put it underneath where the watch is actually stored. That's how I would do it. So did I talk about the price? I don't think I did. MSRP on this watch is $12.95. Sale price from ShopHQ is 81% down to $249. And then with that AUG watch, only for the watches I'm showing here today, brings it down to $199.99 with that cool technology, with that eye size that goes along here with this watch. So here is a timepiece on my wrist. So it's definitely bigger. I'm going to get out the calipers here in just a quick second, but you can see how that watch looks. You know, bigger it is, easier it is to read. Unidirectional rotating bezel that goes along here for the timepiece. Mineral crystal. All right, let's check out the size of the timepiece here. A couple of the measurements real quick. What we're looking at here on the Kona sizing, we're looking at about 9.25 inch wrist. So generous in terms of the wrist size on this. Some of the measurements here. Measurement for the crystal, we're going to see right at, let's see, move that out just a little bit. What is that, 37, 38 millimeters? 10 o'clock over to 4 o'clock, excluding any function pushers, we're looking at that 52 millimeters. And then if we're including in the crown, we're looking at what, 60.5 millimeters overall profile, 16.5 millimeters. And the bracelet, the eye size bracelet is going to be the same. So what we're looking at is at 25.8, about 26 millimeters, which will be an inch. Yeah, it's going to be about the same because of that eye size technology. So it's going to be straight all the way through. Notice too the knurling that goes through the center portion of the link, and then the outer brushed finish. You're going to have the high polished luster on this black off to the side here for the timepiece. But yeah, really, really cool that goes along with it. VD53 from TMI on the inside. So a staple movement for Invicta, quartz movement here that you get along with this timepiece. That's really cool. I hope Invicta carries this eye size over to a lot of other different designs. And like Tanya said, make sizing so much easier because it can sometimes be a little bit of a pain sizing the watches with all the different tools. So yeah, great design element from Invicta with this eye size technology. 6 different color choices. This is only one of the 6. And remember, if you use that coupon code AUGWATCH, it brings this watch from that $249.99 down to $199.99. That AUG watch only works for the watches that I have in my live stream here tonight. Yeah, Sandy Glover, nice watch. Eye size is awesome. I agree, 110%, Sandy. You sold me on this one. You love the green. Sweet, Michael. We'll see your order here go through here shortly. Yeah, that would be great. All right, last timepiece here. Last timepiece we're gonna go. We're gonna go to the Speedway, and let me just get that up on the screen for you right here. Boom. Speedway. Okay, men's Speedway, 51 millimeter Speedway quartz chronograph gold tone bracelet watch. Now, Invicta's had this watch around for a while. I've presented many of these over the years. What I have to say is I'm very impressed just with the overall weight, the comfort, and the ergonomics go along with this watch. For a little bit of a heavier timepiece and a little bit more of a complex design that goes along for the bezel and even for the dial for this watch. So I'm impressed with this timepiece. What we're looking at is an MSRP of $895. ShopHQ has brought it down to $159.99. It's 82% off. And if you use AUG Watch, down to $127.99. Now I have the blue. Gold tone is going to be completely monochromatic. So same exact look, except the dial is going to be gold tone. So it's just going to be completely monochromatic here for this watch. All right, let's get into some of the details that go along with it. So the movement on the inside is actually going to be the Ronda. Let me double check here. Okay, yeah, the movement on here, I think on the website it says the Z60, but this is going to be, I have to double check here. We're looking at, yeah, it's going to be from TMI, and I think it's probably the VD53 that this version is going to be. So the website says Z60. I'll get that corrected here for you guys. But solid movement on the inside, 51 millimeters. What I like here is look at the hour markers, so you can see actually the Arabic numerals rise up off the dial, and then if you look at the odd numbers, you can see how they actually are those sort of those pillars that are rising up, those triangles that go along the rehat here for the timepiece. And then, as I mentioned too, the more complex bezel design, so you have the knurling that goes along here for like a step that goes up. You have the different screw elements that are a part of that bezel too, 6 of them. And then you have the glowing index markers too that are part of the bezel here for the watch. You have your date right down at the very bottom there at that 6 o'clock position on the inside of the dial. And then you have the 2 accent screws off to the west side of the case. And then look at this, the blue that's going to match up with the dial on the inside. And you're going to get the upgraded scissor style deployant closure here for this watch. I'll put this on the wrist. We'll do a couple quick measurements here. All right. Now, you guys remember, both tomorrow and Friday night, I will be on TikTok with Shop HQ. And so that will be Shop HQ tomorrow and Friday, and that's going to be at 7:30 Eastern. So typically on Fridays, I go at noon Eastern, but we're going to try both tomorrow and Friday at 7:30 Eastern with TikTok. So we'll be here 2 more times this week. Would love to see you guys then. All right. So let's look at this timepiece just for another minute here, and we'll do quick measurements on it. Flame fusion crystal, so you're getting that scratch resistance and impact resistant crystal that accompanies this watch. Some of the measurements here for the timepiece we're looking at for the crystal, we're right at about what, 36 millimeters, 10-4. Let me double check here. 10-4, right at that 50 millimeters. And then if we're including in the crown, which is that more complex crown, which actually is from, I think, the X-Wing, right? We're looking at 57 millimeters. The overall profile is going to be 18 millimeters coming up off the wrist. Lug to lug is going to be a little bit wider. Let me just get it correctly for you guys. 1 and 2, where we're looking at about 60 millimeters, 61 millimeters. Bracelet for this watch is actually a little bit thinner, but it's all solid. So we're looking at what, almost 30 millimeters, and it will taper down to about 26 millimeters. But the bracelet, it's still solid, but it's actually what, under 4 millimeters for the bracelet. Cone of sizing is going to say this watch will fit wrist sizes up to almost 8 3/4, just a hair shy. So a variety of wrist sizes here, and I'll show you what it looks like on me too. Let's see, yeah. You sold me this. All right. Yeah, any other comments, you guys? Let me know. Give me some hearts if you're able to tune in tomorrow night, almost at the same time. It's going to be 24 hours from right now. I'll be on TikTok. 24 hours from now and 48 hours, I'll be on TikTok with Shop HQ. So we definitely want to see you guys there also. Looks amazing on the wrist, you guys, and especially for the price point. I mean, this watch is going to be down to that $127.99. So I'll just do a quick little post view here really quick. 2 different color choices. You're looking at the gold tone, or what I have here is going to be the blue version for the Speedway. Then we're looking at the I-Force here real quick. The I-Force is right here with, or excuse me, this, Coalition Forces with the I size. So that's down, that's from $249 down to $199 with AUG watch. 6 different color choices to choose from. Yeah, Jeremy, thank you. Appreciate that. Then we have the Quadro. Quadro was a crazy, ridiculous price here. This is the only color choice though for the Quadro. And the price here is, let's see, it went from, one second, where'd the Quadro go? Oh yeah, $79.99 down to $63.99, you guys. 1 color choice here. Fantastic watch if you want to get into that sweet blue. And then what I have here is the S1 Rally. S1 Rally is going to be this version right here, I think. Yes, S1 Rally right here, 2 different color choices, the green or the black. And that is from $129.99, but if you use AUG watch, you'll bring the watch down to $103.99. And then finally, the Grand Diver. 2 different color choices here for the Grand Diver. The black and the green are just ordering by the bezel. And this I think this might be the strongest deal right here. $149.99 down to $119.99 for either one of these Grand Divers right here. All right. Beautiful watches, you guys. Yeah, the S1 is in green too. That's right, Bob. Let's see. Beautiful says beautiful. Thank you so much, you guys. Well, I'd love to be able to see you guys tomorrow. And I will be back also next Wednesday right here on this platform. But be sure to follow Shop HQ on the platforms. Check out the website too for some additional things outside of the watches here with Shop HQ, as they have some great pricing that go along with everything. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow night and also Friday night, hopefully. And then next Wednesday, same time, same spot right here. You guys enjoy the rest of the week. Appreciate each and every one of you being here. Mike already made that purchase. Purchase complete. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. So you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Reach out to me on social media if you have any questions, and I will talk to AL about that one particular watch. Thanks, everybody, and have a great night. Take care.